Let me tell you boys something. Marvel Rivals, Guangguan, NetEase, all of them at the studio have absolutely cooked. Season 9 looks fantastic, and honestly, I think it's going in the right direction. Obviously, this patch is going to be a massive update. Is going to be a massive change. So there's going to do a lot of hot fixes. There's going to be some issues that are going to be addressed, balancing issues and stuff. Not everything is going to be tested in just the studio, but that's what we're here to really work out. Overall, I'm super excited for season 9, but let's get into the breakdown of what's actually coming and what does it mean for the game. So the first thing that we actually have to look at is Black Widow's rework. Now, personally, I've always preferred that she become an actual one-shot. I know they say it's a one-shot ability, but with her ADS, it's not really that. However, the changes that they've made to her kind of take away from being a sniper to being a part-time sniper. Her changes are actually quite impressive. She's going to become a little bit more of a basic poke with her DMR style shooting now. So what they've done, if they've changed her main gun ability from an ADS into a burst, right? So it is just a long range poke, and it does have some new moves where you can slow down and such. And what they've done is they've shifted the ADS now to her ult, which does have piercing damage. It's got build up, and while it doesn't have the one shot ability, it does increase the fire rate of the gun as well. Overall, I think it's a very interesting change. I do think it takes away from the style that people play Black Widow with, but it's definitely more competitive, and it's going to be a case where when she does actually enter in the team, she's not going to get breaking down. But here's a look at her actual ability. First of all, we have her gun. It does charge up and it fires 3 rounds, and it's quite quick from what I can see. You've also got a new ability where she can slow down people like her ult charge did, right? Her original ult where it hits the ground and it slows down people. This is done at a smaller radius with less damage, of course. And then, like I said, they've increased a new ability where upon her jump, she can actually do a dive kick. What they wanted to do is make her close quarters combat really effective, and they've done that with this one here. And then, like I said, they've changed her ult ability where it is now an ADS with piercing damage and faster free recall rate and quite a long cooldown period. Now, one thing that we obviously got to check is how effective is the sniper range and how much you necessarily want to build up ult, because if you can't hit your shots in a sniper, one, you're probably going to stay and never really use your ult unless they make it quite easy to attain. And from what I understand, they actually increase the hitbox of her sniper bullets to kind of mitigate that. Of course, we've still got some of the fun stuff coming out. That new PvE mode coming out with Ultron is still in the works, which I have to say, after going through almost an hour and a half of new updates, this looks fantastic. The fact that they're still doing that shows that they're still showing love for the game, and I really can't be mad about that. Can't be mad about that at all. But here's the big talking point. Here is where Marvel Rivals really cooked. They spent time in the kitchen on this. They marinated. They got all the right seasonings, right? And they really went in. A brand new team up system. Now, what you're going to see is just a lot of chaos, right? From season 9, there's going to be a whole lot of chaos. There's going to be a whole lot of menace. And I feel like they've done, let's just buff everybody. What they've done is they've made everyone OP by having loadouts on your team ups. That's right, loadouts, which means you can select from different team ups, which also means they don't have to be on the field anymore. So Thor can have a team up with Captain America, and with Captain America and Thor not being on the same team, the team up slightly changes, but with them being on the same team, they actually get a mad buff. And they've done this for every character in the game. Every character, all the strategists, all the DPS, and all the support, including the new one coming out, Jubilee, of course. And let me tell you, some of these changes are absolutely ridiculous. Some of my favorite ones are definitely Captain America 4, just because they're 2 of my favorite tanks. We've also got some increase in healing abilities coming from these Vanguards and these DPS as well, which is even better, because when you look at some of the damage output from some of these team-ups, like with Venom and Phoenix, you've got to increase the amount of healing that is done because everyone is going to be ridiculous. I also feel like with the introduction of these new team-ups, especially ones like Magneto and Emma, you can solo tank these days. That is so strange. That's so strange to feel like in a game based around 6v6 that you can get away with different comps now. Obviously, I feel like what they've done is added a lot more damage to some of these support characters as well, which is always fantastic because it allows them to be more strategists as opposed to just heal bots. We're including people like Loki, Mantis, we've got Luna and Cloak. We've also got Rocket with a group combo. It's fantastic. Everything they're doing so far is absolutely fire. But the best part about this all is just how creative some of these team ups are. We've got Devil, Dino, and Punisher. Rocket's on a dinosaur's back. Who would have guessed? But it's cool as fuck. We've got we're bringing back some of the old ones like Namor and Hulk, Iron Man and Hulk. You've got Hela and Namor getting a new team up ability as well with her ult. You've also getting some new introductions like Cloak and Luna Snow. But the best part about it is that because of the loadout and because of the ability changes that come with some of these loadouts, Hulk's getting new abilities with Wolverine, right? He's getting new abilities with Captain America. And once they're on the same team, they get buffs to those certain abilities as well. But what does this mean for the game? Overall, I think it's a fantastic addition. I feel like for the last couple seasons, especially season 7 and season 8, especially 8.5, the game felt really flat. And definitely with team ups, it felt like they got quite a bit lazy, right? Invis's team up was pretty much the same as the Gammas. The Namor and Hela team up hasn't changed. Everyone can throw Wolverine and Human Torch can carry everyone. It's not necessarily anything too amazing. However, what they've done here is just went full-fledged with the freedom, full-fledged with the ridiculous power, and then what they can do is they can overshoot it now and tone it back. So I do expect that coming in the following season, season 9 and season 9.5, because season 9 will have hotfixes, they are going to adjust things, tone things back, create a more balanced game rather than everyone being overpowered. The introduction of someone like Jubilee as well, who does insane damage, especially with her team up with the Hood, the upcoming character for season 9.5, is fantastic. I feel like having that creativity is going to spark more creativity. It's going to spark more unique interactions, more unique play styles, more unique interactions in the game in actual matches as well. I feel like these team ups also allow for the fact that games don't have to be funneled around a singular character anymore. As everyone knows, if you have Devil Dino on the team, or if you have Cap on the team or Black Panther on the team, it requires a certain focus. It requires a lot of team changes, and DPS have to play a certain way and support have to play a certain way. These team ups seem to make it easier for you to handle almost everyone in the game, and that's the best part. Everyone should be able to play against everyone, but it needs to be done in unique and creative styles. That's why everyone was getting tired of the healing circle, area of effect ability, so on and so forth. Now, personally, I thought they were going to go down the route of a massive nerf and then rework, but they're achieving the same goal really, with a massive overall buff. It's a global buff. And one of the more unique things that they're doing that hasn't been in the game before in any sort of ability, but is really cool, is the fact of a self-healing mechanic when you're out of combat. Certain characters like Psylocke, most likely Venom, dive characters most likely, where they are off on the flank and it's hard for them to kind of regain back into the fight to get heals, are now getting a self-healing mechanic up to a certain point after 5 seconds, 5 continuous seconds of taking 0 damage, not a single bit of damage, and they'll get a self-healing mechanic. What does that mean for the game? Well, really simply, there is less need for a focus on healers. Healers now can be strategists because they haven't got to worry about the dive who's off on there, and teams are allowed to carry on their creativity. They're not just going into the chaos. It's not just going to be an alt fob. And I sound strange to say that, right? Because how does just staying out of a fight allow for more creativity? Really simple. Flanks can stay out on the wings, right? You have to pay more attention for the fact that they don't have to come back and go and get one tapped on their way back to get heals. They can still stay on the flank. Yes, they're out of the fight for 5 seconds, but if the healers can stay up, then it's great. It also means that healers can focus more on the tanks, which means more tank enablement. And I feel like tank enablement is something that was missing in the game recently, right? Tank enablement is something that can really benefit in terms of impacting the pace of a game. If there's not much tank enablement, it's more just about sustainability with your healers. Who is keeping the tank higher, right? Who's keeping the tank at higher health? But tank enablement means more pushing, more falling back, more going off on the F angles, more flanks, more changes, right? It makes a more dynamic fight simply because they are able to do more. And with the new team ups as well, especially with the ones like Venom, they are going to do a lot more, a lot more. I would advise you to go and watch it all. I'm not going to break down every single team up here. There's over 100. But overall, I feel like it's been a fantastic change. And I'm very welcome to it. Like I said, the next 3 months are probably going to be quite a bit of chaos. But it's chaos that's welcomed. And the introduction of Jubilee and the Hood is going to be great. But I do feel like with those two being relatively small and ocean characters in the Marvel world, next season we're probably going to get someone really big. And I'm really excited for that. But overall, I'm very much looking forward to the new season. Let me know what you are. If there's anything that you're unsure about, let me know in the comments below. We can talk about it. And of course, don't forget, you've got the new Battle Pass system, the new Battle Pass coming out and stuff like that. Also, one thing to mention, I completely forgot this. With the team ups, there is no flat numerical increase. It is just the team up abilities now. There's no buffs for using certain characters in the season. It is simply just a new ability and a new way of playing the character. Overall, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. I can't wait. If you guys enjoyed that video and want to see more, let me know what you guys think about the upcoming season. I'm super excited, but I hope to see you guys there. And then drop a comment. Let me know what you're excited for, what team up you're looking for. And if there's anything else that you wish that would be introduced into the game, I feel like it's going to be a good road. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to just get my hands on it as soon as it comes out.